Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we will go straight over to those charts. So Bitcoin on the daily, as you can see, we have got a well, look at that move yesterday. Look at that daily candle. It is just incredible, isn't it? But yeah, if we want to look at the range that we're in, this 14k to say 18k, obviously the midpoint of that range is 16k, and you guys know we like to have these ranges that basically we think price action will range and hold in, and obviously the middle point is obviously important level for that range. So yeah, that is 16k, so that is pretty much roughly where we got up to. So yeah, that is good to see, because that does kind of tell me that that potentially this 14 to 18 or just under 18k is going to basically be where I think it is quite likely Bitcoin will range for a bit. It will FOMO people in some longs towards in the top end. It will then squeeze them out as we come back down. It will FOMO some people into shorts and then squeeze them out as we go back in. And I think we are going to enter a wild range of sideways. But obviously with what is basically a 4k range. So yeah, we can see the 4-hour 9 as well holding us up at the moment. But I mean, you guys know the TD sideways to down, so we can clearly go sideways, take out the top, and then come back up. But again, I mean, is that the most likely scenario? Are we heading straight to well, nearly 18k in just one big move? Well, it's not likely. It is possible, but it is not likely to be the not likely to be the most likely scenario. But yeah, either way, we've got to keep an eye on that. Clearly the trend is your friend. We've broken out of this, but I mean, we've seen in all the moves so far, it's pretty clear: you move, you consolidate, you move, you consolidate, you move. So is this going to be a consolidation here? We're going to drift down with a consolidation. Are we actually going to drift up with the consolidation, which again I don't think is the most likely, because I don't think drifting up is really going to be the sort of price movement that we're going to get. If we're going to go up, it's going to be pretty well, as this move was to the upside. So we are going to have a look at Ethereum BTC also. So here you can see on the 4-hour, I mean, you can see it is obviously had a nice move up. It is trying to put in a bottom, but as of yet, I mean, you just look at it. It's nothing to write home about as of yet. It's still in a clear downtrend. I mean, we have got back above this horizontal, well, for the time being, which is good. I mean, we'll draw a horizontal in here. And I think, yeah, if we take out this level, then I think we will be looking at we'll actually make this a bit thicker. I think we will be looking at some potential potential trend reversal price action. That's what I'm trying to say. Get back above this level, yeah, and I think we will have potentially put in a bottom here, and then we will start coming to contest some of these levels against Bitcoin. So yeah, obviously Ethereum USD is looking fantastic. You can see it's getting to the level. This is basically the level that I've said is important. I mean, it's drawn in. Literally, look at that, to the absolute tick as well. This is not a level that I've drawn in. Well, I say to the absolute tick. There's a tiny gap there, but yeah, this is basically an important level that we've had drawn in for a while. Obviously from these highs here, take this out, and we yeah, I mean, US dollar pairing for sure. We will be off to the races in Ethereum. Bitcoin dominance finally having a somewhat pullback. 4-hour 9 in there as well, starting to pull back a little bit. I mean, clearly this has been on an absolute tear, and clearly it is not anything like a downtrend at the moment. Nothing at all like a trend reversal here. It just potentially could be a point that we don't get higher than, but I mean, looking at it, we very easily could do. But so we've got to put in either some sideways to down, and yeah, and then we can start to look at, are we going to have a massive alt season? But don't get it wrong though, this tiny move down here has precipitated massive moves in certain alts. So yeah, just obviously bear that in mind. And then also remember that alt 1.0, alt 2.0 dynamic that that I talk about, like the 2017, the Cardanos, the XRPs, the Litecoins, those sorts of things, compared to like some of the new more useful alt 2.0s that have better use cases that are being used, and think this, and you guys know what I'm saying. So obviously those alt 1.0s are clearly going to be a drag on this, but it doesn't mean that the alt 2.0s can't be going up, even if Bitcoin dominance is potentially sideways and slightly upwards. But yeah, so we've just got to bear that in mind in Bitcoin dominance. But if this does start to come down, it is going to be an absolute insane altcoin season. Even just to get back down to here, because don't forget, this is Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin is a lot higher. So that would mean that the alt market cap would, to get back down here, would be a lot higher than it was when we were down here last time. So it would be absolutely stupendous. And then, I mean, imagine if we got lower, and imagine if that did coincide with Bitcoin going up higher as well. It would be absolutely insane. And things like that happen in crypto. So don't don't rule it out, guys. Do not rule moves like that out. So yeah, back to Bitcoin now that we've looked at that. Oh, sorry, whilst we're on there, we'll look at stock markets. How stock market's doing? Yeah, I mean, stock market's having a little bit of digestion at this level here. I mean, we've obviously had a big move up. Like I said, big moves up in anything, you then will have to get some sideways to down. So yeah, potential sideways to down here. Bitcoin dominance, potential sideways to down. Bitcoin itself, potential sideways to down. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of that's just how markets trade, isn't it, guys? That TD, look at that TD9 though. That TD9 on the daily, literally absolutely blasted through. I mean, I will explain what I do see when I see action like this. I see people looking at us at resistance coming into a daily 9, and they're a bit apprehensive. They're holding back with their positions. They're holding back with adding to longs or putting longs on. And then as soon as they do see us break the resistance and break the top of the 9, that's when they do pile in, and that's sort of why you do get these sort of big moves. This is sort of a coiling up of anticipation of sideways to down in the market, so people don't put on their longs. And as soon as that sort of looks to be not what's going to happen, we start to break above, then they all FOMO in. And same with shorts. People short in this level. You would short this level with a tight stop, and yeah, and obviously that stop would then get basically hit, and that which is more buying, isn't it? So and then obviously people putting on the short positions into the 9 is clearly why you sort of get the coiling up into the 9. And yeah, so, and also people taking off long positions into the 9 as well, and then they then reapply those longs. So yeah, so we'll have a look at the stochastics, even though, like we're saying, I mean, the stochastics, realistically, it's bullish resets we're looking at. 4 hour looking like it's going to try and put in a bullish reset. 10 hour still up there, 12 hour still up there, daily still up there, 2 days still up there, 3 days still up there. It's all still up there. So it is. This is what I mean about stochastics aren't the most useful in obviously a nicely trending market. They're more useful for in a trending market for, like, say the 4 hour comes back down, starts to turn back up again whilst price action's consolidated. Then you kind of think, right, that's our signal to go again. So that's kind of what it's used for. But obviously, these 12 hours, especially the 12 hour and the daily, once it does start to flag out and start to come down, here's the daily, here's the 12 hour, once it starts to turn over and come back down, then yeah, I mean, we could definitely then start to think, right, we have to have a downside bias, even if it's just for short or medium term moves, but obviously we're not at that point as of yet. So yeah, that is it. A lot of people are talking about how the elections are affecting the market. The elections are affecting the market. Like I said, the market just wants certainty, but the certainty the market's getting, that the market didn't necessarily know was going to be a certainty beforehand, was actually the Senate remaining Democrat. So what that means is that it doesn't matter. I mean, the market wanted certainty as far as the president. It doesn't really want a contested election, and that's basically what people were saying. If we get that, it's going to be bad for markets. But that was superseded by the fact that the Senate is actually going to remain Republican, which means that it doesn't matter if Biden gets in, because he won't be able to basically do all of the crazy stuff that he wants to do because of the Republican Senate. So that was not necessarily expected, because obviously we had all the fake polls basically that were telling everybody what they were just basically just making stuff up. So that wasn't expected either. So yeah, but that obviously has pretty much been confirmed, and that means that we don't have to worry about. So now that obviously supersedes who comes into office, because yeah, I mean, first there's the uncertainty element. Second, there was is Biden going to tax the actual living daylights out of everyone and everything? And that was obviously another concern. And yeah, both those, yeah, I mean, obviously the more important one of those has been nullified as it stands. So yeah, obviously that is what markets are rallying off. So yeah, that is it, guys, though. So thanks for listening. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. And yeah, I will speak to you guys later on today.